In this video, we are going to divide an array into 3 sub-arrays with minimum cost. Hello, I am Jagan from growwithdata. I am posting this video to share my knowledge in Python language with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I will be happy. Let's see a sample input data and we can talk about the question in detail. We are given an array nums with few integer values. The cost of an array is the value of its first element. For example, if the array value is split into 3 subarrays like 1, 2 and 3 and 12, right? So we split the main array into 3 subarrays. So the cost of the array means is the sum of the first element of each subarray. So here it's equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3. So it should be 6. So the output, the expected output is 6. But if you split the array into a different format like 1 comma 2 and then 3 and 12, right? If you do this way, so the first element of each array is 1 plus 3 plus 12. So it's going to be 12, 15, 16, right? So 6 is smaller than 16. So the expected answer is the smallest value, which is 6. So we have to find the sub array where the sum of the first element of all the 3 sub arrays should be minimum when combined with other combinations. Okay, so first thing is, if you understand the question, it's very simple. We just say let's put it here. So you need to divide the input array into 3 disjoint contiguous subarrays, right? How we did here. So they return the minimum possible sum of the cost of the subarrays, right? The cost is the sum of all the first elements. Make sure the order of the elements won't change. Okay, so if you put 3, 12, when you do a subarray, it should be 3, 12. But the expected output is the sum of the value. It's not the list of subarrays. Okay. Okay. So these are the conditions. So when you see these kind of questions, I told you first you understand, break down the steps, explain, and then go. If you just say, okay, so it's only the sum of the 3 elements. So what can we do, right? So let's do this way. First, this is the wrong way of doing it, but still I'm just giving you the hint how to start with. You just say the input, you can take this as an input. We just say nums div grow with data, the input array. First, what we can do, first we just sort the array 1, 2, 3, 12. Oh, sorted nums, right? And then we can have a dictionary where it stores all the key value pair. And say for index val in enumerate nums. So we just split the the index into 3, right? So because we have to create 3 subarrays. So index plus 1 mod 3. So what will happen? Index starts with 0, right? So we just have 1. So 1 divided by 3, the remainder is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 divided by 3, the remainder is 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So 3 divided by 3, the index is 0. So the check value is going to be 1, 2 and 0. And it will continue again 1, 2 and 0. So we split the input array element into 1, 2 and 0. Let's see how to use that. If check in the dictionary, then you just say A is here. If check in dictionary, then we just have a variable a equal to result of that check value, right? And then a dot append the value, and then we just set back the result of check equal to a. If not, result of check equal to the value. Okay, so now let's see how the result populates. Okay, let's call the function expected grow with data result cn, we got gh, right? Okay, so if you see this, we split the input array with the elements in order. So you sorted the nums part of it, right? We can just put print here, print so we sort the, it is already sorted, so you don't see the difference. And then we see the first element, you take it as the first key, and the second element, so the second index part, right? So the second element goes to the second index, and the third element goes to the third index, and then the fourth one goes back again to the first. If we say 12, 13 and 14, it will be add up. So 1, 2, 3 will be here, and then 12, 13 and 14 will be here. If it's 15, it comes back to 1, 12 and 15. So in that way, you get all the first elements, the first smaller elements here, right? So now we go get the first smaller element in the 3 index positions. So here we just go say output equal to 0, assign for 0 as for val in result dot value. So we don't need a key, right? So we get only the value. We just say output plus equal to val of 0. We just get only the first element, and we return output. So it comes as 6, right? So this is what expected, right, for 6. So when we feel like, okay, we got the list value, we just break down and get the index part of it. This is a wrong approach, but still we got the result right. Okay, let's see other examples. Let me get other examples here. So 1, 2, 3, 12, we saw it's 6. It's 5, 4, 3, only 3 elements. So when you split it, it's going to be 12. Let's see if this works. So it gets 12. That's good. But the key part is here. If the first element is the greater number, right? When you have 10, 3, 1, 1, when you sort this, it becomes 1, 1, 3, 10, right? So the first 3 smaller elements got here 1, 1, 3, the answer is 5. But when you see the split, it should be 10, 3, 1, 1, like this, right? We should not change the order. Make sure the order of the element won't change. So if you oversee this condition, then we end up with these kind of programs, right? So the main problem is we sorted it here. Since we got the answer for the first input value, we just continued with it, right? But if you are given another sample array, we are not expecting the right answer. So we have to make sure first you understand the question, make sure you get all the conditions, and then you go for it, right? Okay. Understanding the question and missing the condition is okay. But in this program, there is a blend mistake, right? So what we did here, we sorted this one and then we get the first three smaller elements, then we went back to the 4, 5 and 6. So is there a need for it? First thing, right? Even though we missed this condition, is it a need for going for the 4th, 5th and 6th, right? No, because we just need the first three elements of an array, right? Because we are going to split that into 3 subarrays, so we need only 3. So we don't have to go with all this condition. So what we might have done is, once we sorted that, we can just get the first 3 elements. So output nums with first 3 elements. When you say this, it will be 1, 1 and 3, right? And then if you just get the sum of the points, then it's 5. This is a exception part, but when you run for this, you get 6. When you run for this, you get 12. And this one, we oversaw the condition and it gave a wrong answer. Okay. To fix this code, this is the better way of doing it. We don't have to go with the 4th and 5th element. That's fine. But how to address this, right? How to include this condition and you write the code, right? Okay. Let's do a brute force method. Okay. Let's carry this. Okay. Let's comment out the 2 conditions. Let's start with our basic looping logic. Grow with data, the input values. First we say n equal to length of nums, right? And s equal to, we have to get the first element of the array, and then we say nums. Sorry, before that I missed it. We just say result equal to float of infinity. We just assign an infinity value. You guys put minus or something, right? But when you do the calculation, it's very easy to have a infinite value. For I in range, length of nums minus 2. I tell you why I put 2. Okay. And then for j in range, I plus 1, and then length of nums minus 1. And then for k in range, j plus 1, length of nums. Okay. Now what we are doing, we are getting the array, whatever be the length, and then we start with the first element. Okay. For the I, it will get the first element, and then for j, it will start with the next one from I, and for k, it starts with the other format. And we are going to try all the permutation and combinations, how to create the subsets. Okay. First we just try to print. So first thing is nums till j. So what should be the array? And then nums starting with j till k, and then nums starting with k. So we are going to use all these subsets, and then we are going to have whatever the result we have. First one is infinity, and then we just say nums of I, j, k, right? From this subsets, get the 0th element. This plus nums of j, k, this plus nums of k 0, right? So we are going to get the permutation combination of 3 different levels, and then we are going to check the result, whichever is minimum. If you see the results before, you get that result, and the new value, whichever is minimum, you get that one. Okay, let's see how this works. Return result. Now we call our favorite function, grow with data. Let's see how it works. Great. Range, we missed one parenthesis, but okay. Okay, we missed one. Okay. So if you see this 1, 2, 3 and 12, right? We do all the combinations of it. So we do 1, 2, 3 and 12, and then 1, 2, 3 and 12, and 1, 2, 3 and 12. The next one just repeats. So we tried all the combinations here, and then we get the first element of all the combinations. In this combination 1, 2, 3, you get that 6. So here 1, 2 and 12, 14. So 1, 3 and 12, 16. So you just get all the combinations and get the first element and find the sum of all the 3 and see which one is minimum. Is this 6 or 14 or 15, right? 12, 15, yeah, 12, 15 and 16. So every time it checks which value is minimum and then it stores that minimum value, right? So if you have the next value 5, 4, 3, there is no much combination, right? It's only once, so it is 5, 4 and 3. If you work with 10, 3, 1, 1, you have all the combinations of 10, 3, 1, 1, 10, 3, 1 and 1, 10, 3, 1, 1, and then why is it repeating, but yeah, this one. So if you see this last combination 10, 1, 1 is the best combination, which is going to be 12, right? Okay, so here the problem is we are scanning the array thrice, so O of n cube, right? So if it's going to be a longer 13, 14 and 15, if you see the combination, oh, okay, we disable this. So if you see this, there are like hell lot of combinations, right? So if the array is getting bigger, then the looping part is going to be horribly long, right? So this is okay, but not a efficient way of doing it. But if you see the output combination, right, there is a pattern here. You see 1 is the first element of the input array, right? So every combination 1 is the first one, but the other elements, right, 2, 3 and 12, right, the 2 is first element here, but here it's not, and 3 is the first element here but not here, and 12 is the first element here and here but not here, right? So only the first element of the input array has to be the first element of the one of the subsets, right? That's a must. But for other elements it's not, right? So it can be in the first element of the subarray or it cannot, right? So the easier way to do is take this as our key part, and then we are going to do a trick here. Let's see what it is. Let's take our function. So what we are going to do here is we just get n equal to length of nums. We get the length of the input array, and then s equal to nums of 0. So you first get the first element of the input array, and then we are going to say nums equal to sorted of nums from 1 till the end. Okay, now s equal to, we already have s as the first element of the array, plus nums of 0 plus nums of 1. Now you return yes. We haven't called the function, so let's call it 6, right? So here what we are doing, we are getting the nums array and get the first element of the input array and store it in a variable, and then after that we sort the remaining of the array from 2, 3 and 12, right? We sort that array and we get the first two elements of the array. So here 2, 3 and 12 it works fine, but if you come here it takes 10 as the first element, and then when you sorts it becomes 1, 1, 3. So you get 1 and 1, so which is this combination, right? So the first element is fixed, but the other elements, if you sort and get the smallest element, then we get the result. Though it says you should not change the order, they haven't asked for which subset, how the subset looks, right? They look for only for the final result. So to get the final result, it's easy to make sure that the first element is fixed, the other elements you sort and get it. Then when you see the combinations, we see that the second till the last element, it can be in any position, right? So when you say 13 and 14 also, you get the same result, because when you sort it gets only the first three elements, right? So you understand the question and you can have a thin line between what is asked for and how you can use the logic you already know, right? You know how to sort and get the pieces, but the question says you can't. But when you see the output value, it's easy to get the first element, and then you can sort and get the next two elements, and you can get the expected result. So this program looks good, but to make it little bit easier, what we can do is we just do the same logic in one line. We can just do that way. First we just got nums of 0, and then we just get the sum of sorted nums from the first element, and then you get the first two elements, and then you return it. You don't want to carry all this, so you get the expected result, right? So what you do, you get the first element of the array, and then you take from the second element till the last one, you sort it, and then get, sort this way, sort, and then you get the part of it, right? You sort that array from the first element till the last, and then get the first two elements of the sorted array, and then you take the sum of the values, right? So we start with a wrong approach with this many line of code, then we sort that wrong code into a sorted 2-line code, then we got a proper algorithm which is a brute force method, which is not accepted, but still we got the expected result, and we can see how the combination works. And then if you come down, we can use the wrong approach. The key of the wrong approach is the sort form, right? And then we have to get the first element. So we combine both and we got the result here, and then we simplified all our learnings into a single line of code. If you want to practice with all the test cases we know of, then we can have this and it pass all the test cases. So end of the day, we talked about only one line of code, but we have to go through all this to come up with the best solution. Hope you like this video, and thanks for watching.